Welcome to this short look into the 4D capabilities of the Simpleware ScanIP medical software. For this video, we're going to use cardiac CT data with 10 time steps. The Simpleware software can work with 4D image data in a range of ways. Firstly, import, then visualize, measure and annotate the image data. Then segment all the timeframes to produce animations or models which could be 3D printed or used for simulation or exported for further planning work. So let's look at how we import the 4D image data. So first of all, we open ScanIP Medical. And what we'd normally do is import the image data using this option here, DICOM images. So this is exactly the same whether you're using 3D data or 4D data. The difference is once the files have been found, you can see that the frames are listed here. So you can select which of the frames you want to use and you can preview them and look through the slices using this preview window, like this. You can also check the DICOM tags to make sure that you're importing the correct data. And finally, because we're working with medical image data, you can also choose to anonymize the DICOM tags and remove the file names from the log. Now, once you're ready, you just click Finish. I've actually already imported this data. And this is the data as it would be brought in initially. So you've got 3 2D views and a 3D view in the bottom right hand corner. Now at the moment the 3D views are showing us just one of the time steps and the 3D view at the bottom right is giving us a background volume rendering of that image data. Now when the 4D image data is opened, ScanIP will open this frame toolbox. You can also find this on the Home tab under toolboxes as well. Now the first thing to note is the active frame you can change by using this slider or simply type in the number in this box here. And then you've also got the target frames. This is really for when we've got operations such as filtering or segmentation tools. I'll show you a couple of those later on. So here we've got some cine modes. So a cine mode allows us to set through the time frames and we can choose the time that we have between the different frames here. And we can do this in 2D or in 3D. So if I just show you an example here of the 2D, you can see the heart effectively beating here. So now we're just stepping through the time steps and keeping the same slice of image data, but we can move through the image data and maybe look at one of the ventricles beating or look at the aorta here. And this is just really useful for visualizing your image data. Now, if we want to see this in 3D, we can do that as well. I've just applied a masking filter here to remove the rib cage so that we can see the heart a bit better. And now you can see that in 3D. So this is just a background volume rendering. We haven't done any segmentation yet. You can see that quite nicely there, along with the blood vessels as well. Okay, so we can also do a comparison of different time frames. So if we go back to the original image data without the masking filter, and we can look at this particular slice in 2 different time steps. So at the bottom we have a slider where you can change the frame, so this is changing the time step. But the slider at the top is your traditional slider, which allows you to move the slice through your 3D image data. So you can do a quick comparison of the 2 time frames side by side. And here we can also delete time frames if we need to as well. So I said earlier we've got this target frames drop down menu for either the active frame or all frames. Now this is really important when we go into segmentation. So for options like threshold, so this might be your initial kind of go-to tool when you start to segment image data. So you can apply this on all frames or just the active frame. You can also apply things like our morphological tools like erode, dilate, open and close on all the time frames, and some of our smoothing filters as well. For some of the other tools like background flood fill or mask flood fill, these only apply on the active frame. And that's because these tools are really used for editing and to be fine-tuning your model. And therefore they need inspection in the 2D slices or the 3D view, and this will vary between the time frames. There are a lot of segmentation tools to explore, but we're going to use the Heart CT tool, one of our auto segmenters. And again, you can apply this on all time frames or just one. So if we want to apply it on all time frames, it's all set up for us and we just click apply. In the summary box, you can see the time frames shown, and if we close that, we can see the segmentation in the 2D and 3D views. We can use the Cine mode again in 2D to look at those segmented masks as we step through the different frames. We can also do this in 3D as well. Now we can also review the landmarks. So if we consider just the aorta for a moment, and then we open up the measurements and consider maybe just these three. There we are. And we can step through the frames using the 3D Cine mode. And you can see how the landmarks track through. Now again, if you want to make any changes to the position of the landmarks, you can just use the little unlock symbol here and then edit those to where they might need to be. So you can continue editing the masks and the landmarks in the same way that you would normally. And then you can prepare your image data for maybe a model. So you might want to add some masks to a model and use this for 3D printing or simulation, or export it for further planning work. So that's a quick look into how we can work with 4D image data in the Simpleware ScanIP medical software. If you have any questions, please get in touch with Simpleware support. Thank you for watching.